So, let's see. You should know that by now. Quite a simple video from me today. No video editing, no raw footage. Won't even touch my PC. It will go straight to YouTube from my phone. I've written a script because I have quite a lot to say. So apologies if I'm not always looking at you. In fact, with the screen being there and the camera being there, I probably won't be looking at you anyway. Today I have a little story to tell you, followed by the reasoning for a decision that I have come to. So my partner and I, we moved to Glasgow after my master's degree classes at the University of Portsmouth came to an end. There are several reasons for our choice of location where we moved here, but they aren't important for this. It certainly was risky moving here, and it could have gone terribly wrong, but it didn't. We found ourselves a flat. Lani, whose legs are over there, there is more of her, I promise. She doesn't just end there. We found ourselves a flat. Lani had a job working from home, and I had a brand new degree in translation. However, as we all know, something happened around the end of 2019 that brought the world to a halt. Now, I don't think it requires more explanation than that. At this point in the script, I realise that I sound like a news reporter, so I'm going to move away from scripted sentences onto talking points instead to make it seem more natural. Shrugs to camera. Oh, sorry. So yeah, we just moved up here. A little respiratory condition began making itself known among the world, and no one was hiring. Really, in the early days, no one was looking for any new staff for anything really. I had myself one translation interview working for a company where I would be translating the in-game text and lore in video games, which is exactly the sort of thing that I would have loved to do. Unfortunately, I didn't pass that test. But, looking back on it now, I'm not particularly fussed on it. But back to the story, I did eventually find myself a job. Working in a place about 20 miles away. We don't have a car, so travel was difficult. And the shift started at 7 in the morning. And because of travel restrictions, what with said virus going around, there weren't that many buses at that time in the morning, so it meant that 5 days a week my alarm was going off at 4 in the morning. And my 2 days off were always the same, but they weren't consecutive. They were Tuesday and Thursday, which meant that any free time I had usually was just spent recovering from the ridiculously early starts. Yeah, I'd be finished at work by 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'd be home by about 3:15 if I hadn't missed the bus. If I had missed the bus, it would be 4:15 because there's only one bus an hour. And as you can imagine, this was knackering. It was really, really tiring. I had almost no free time. When I came home at the end of the day, I was exhausted and grumpy because it wasn't a fun job. It really wasn't. Only, 1 day off in a row at most. Things weren't great, and while I was very grateful to have the job, it was not ideal. I was there for a few months, during which time I actually caught the disease myself. Recovered, I'm absolutely fine. But I got to the point where I just had enough, and I saw a listing online for something else. So I did some inquiries, and I left that job, and I moved to my new one, which started very slowly. This new job, which I still have actually, involves working from home. So this desk that I'm filming at is also where I make the bread. Except I don't bake, I'm terrible at baking. Lina will tell you that. Anything with flour just goes to nothing. Now, to be more specific, both of these jobs actually have revolved around the respiratory condition that has been mentioned so many times so far. And working on behalf of the NHS, you've probably heard that in the first few months of there being contact tracers that we didn't really have anything to do. And that was true for me too. I would sit here for 8 hours a day with nothing to do. I just had to refresh my screen regularly to make sure for a fact that there wasn't anything to do. Find out there isn't? Okay, that's great. 10 minutes later, have to do the same thing. Nothing to do. So while there was a lot of free time, I had to be here at my desk to refresh the page every so often to check that there was nothing to do. And I was going bonkers. Oh, I was losing my mind. I'm a gamer, I like TV, but video games and Netflix could only do so much for you before your brain starts to turn to horse manure. Then Lani started something, a little project of hers called the Emporium Nextorium, and she started making resin craft and doing things with resin, and she was having a great time. She really enjoyed it, and it was something to do for her. And I wanted something like that for myself. And I thought, there's so much free time, what can I do? Well, I'm sat at my desk, I can use the 8 hours that I'm going to be chained to this desk to be productive, and do what I have to do fully to the extent without having to give up on refreshing my page every 10 minutes to see if I had anything to do. Then, bing, one day I had a little idea. I thought, I like tech. Let's get myself a Raspberry Pi. So, I bought myself a Raspberry Pi. A cheap one, because I have a chronic case of broke, personally, which is not great. And it arrived, and I started tinkering with it, and I had a fantastic time. And I've always been a big fan of the Fallout games. Now, I'm not old enough, or didn't get into gaming recently enough to have played the original top-down sort of RTS style of Fallout games. Started with Fallout 3, then New Vegas, and I haven't bought 76 yet. And if you have ever played one of the more modern, or maybe even the older Fallout games, you'll know the Robco terminals that you can use to hack doors and things like that, and control turret systems and all that. And I thought, how cool would it be if I could make my own Robco terminal? Use a Raspberry Pi, a little bit of woodwork, install some kind of, or at least modify some kind of BIOS system to make it look like a Robco screen on those terminals. I thought that would be really cool. So I bought my first Pi. Of course, I had to learn how to use it. And really, there's a lot more to it than I thought there would be. I mean, it was naive of me to think it would be something simple. But there's a lot to it, and I still haven't learned how to use it all properly. And of course, I started this channel. In fact, I think I named the channel and secured myself the YouTube channel and the email address that not a single person sent an email to before the Pi even arrived. Because I was determined, I wanted to have some fun with this thing. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the tech side of things, I enjoyed the filming, which is new to me, I enjoyed the editing, which is new to me, and boy does it take a lot of time, it really does. But I didn't have everything fully planned out, and my first couple of videos are boring, they really are. They're just screen recordings of me talking over things, a little gag put in here and there, which I still think are great, but they didn't fit in with the pacing and the rest of the tone of the video. And I wasn't able to come up with ideas for it very quickly. Then this happened. Do you remember this? Yeah. If you haven't seen the video about this, then hop on over to the channel listings, make note of what it looks like, and don't watch it because it's a waste of time. It's 40 minutes of me trying to get someone to work, and it doesn't work. At that point I realised maybe I'm not quite ready to do this as I want to do it completely. And one night I was lying in bed and I was scrolling through Facebook and an advert for Wish popped up. And on there I saw this really cool monitor stand on the advert. I thought, oh, that looks cool. I want me one of those. But Wish, oh, you know, it'll take a month to get here and it'll probably break within 25 seconds of being opened. So Lani said to me, why not build one? I thought, that's a pretty good idea actually. So I built the monitor stand, in fact, which my tripod is standing on right now. It's my biggest, most expensive project yet. In fact, it's my only project yet, because this isn't a project, it's a dumpster fire. And getting a couple of LEDs to blink was hardly a impressive feat. So yeah, I consider it my first proper project and I'm very happy with it. Of course, building the monitor stand was a lot more than just tech. There was woodwork, there was painting, there was drawing designs by hand, you know, pencil and paper and rulers, and I loved it. I loved doing it. It took ages. It took a very long time. But I'm absolutely delighted with the result of it. And that's when I realized that by making it a Raspberry Pi channel from the get-go, that I was limiting myself. I would like to think that I have quite a creative personality. Yeah, I like the tech side and the filming and the video editing side of things, but I like a lot more than that. My first, and I suppose to an extent still my strongest passion when it comes to creation of things, is creative writing. I am working on, well, I have been working on for the past 10 years maybe, 14 books at the same time. One of which is full and complete, needs an edit, but is full and complete. Others of which are blank Word documents with a title and an idea, and varying different stages of completion between those two extremes. But not only that, I write, I draw, I paint, I carve, I build, I repair. If you've seen from my little side project during my videos, 20k% records, you see I also write music, just for a laugh. At least I did a long time ago. I've not really done much of that recently. But there's a lot more that I enjoy doing that I would like to document than just working on this tech stuff. So I have decided I would like to expand my channel. It would also make things less of a chore if I were to expand my channel. Now, I'm not saying that what I've produced so far has been a chore. It's not. I've loved every second of it. But having just a single idea to work off, you know, the single basis of what the channel is for, has made things difficult. You know, I have to think of something appropriate for the channel. I have to think of what the viewers would expect of me at this point. Even this monitor stand, it was a bit of a shot in the dark because, you know, nowhere in Raspberry Pi channel would you think, okay, there's going to be woodwork in this, or painting, or whatever. So, yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought, but that's right, I'm just going to come back to it. Now, where was I? I want to explore more what I want to really do with this channel. As of this moment in time right now, you lovely folks have given me 233 views. You've given me 14.2 hours of your time, and 13 of you have even been good enough to subscribe. Now, those aren't huge numbers at all, by any means, but I'm very grateful for all of it. Now, as I said earlier, my channel was actually created a fair while before I got the Pi. So it's older than this, but if you consider that the sort of conception of the channel, and then when the first video was published as the actual birth of it, by complete coincidence, today my channel is actually 100 days old. That wasn't planned, it's just happened, which is brilliant, I think. Yeah, 100 days of this channel being alive, really. I have some numbers, they're not great, but they are there, and I'm grateful for them. And I would like to expand. I would like to be able to put out videos on a more consistent basis, more often. I think you guys would enjoy that. I would certainly love doing it. And if I were to just, move away slightly, or at least broaden my scope from just the Raspberry Pi side of things, then I think everyone would have more fun as a result. Today is Christmas Eve of 2020, and this year's almost over, which is amazing. Of course, as soon as the clock hits midnight on the 1st of January, doesn't mean everything's going to magically fix itself, but at least we might have a new mindset towards things. But yeah, today is Christmas Eve, as you can probably tell by my pretty cool shirt that my dad sent me a few days ago. And in the new year, we will see a change in things. In fact, I'm already working on something right now. I'm working on making my mum's birthday present. Her birthday happens to be very close to Christmas. So I'm putting together a little something for her. I'm going to put that up once it has been given to her, because I don't want her to watch the video and then, spoil the surprise. So yeah, there's going to be a change in the channel. But does that mean the Contraption Factory is, as you know it, dead? No, it doesn't. If anything, it's just improved. And I'd be very grateful if you would join me along this second wave of the channel. I mean, being 100 days old is a bit young to have a midlife crisis, but this channel was born under unusual circumstances, shall we say. So that's pretty much all I have to say today. I have written here, end with something random, and I could have planned that ahead, but that wouldn't be random. So let's think of something random. I used to be the King of England. Yeah. In a previous job, I worked for a museum, and I would dress up as King Henry VIII and pretend to be all regal to try and bring customers in. That was a laugh. What else is random? There's currently a pair of pliers on my desk. I'm really running out of ideas. Anyway, no editing on this, so it's going to go up exactly as you see it. All the best. You guys have a wonderful Christmas, as much as you can, and I'll see you all in the new year. Thank you very much, guys. All the best.